Hello, 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 my sweet friends and darlings. Thank you for accepting the very exclusive invite. We're so incredibly excited to welcome you all to this very first ever Poison Tea Party podcast.
Woohoo!
Yes! Hi! We are a bi-weekly podcast absolutely hell-bent on bringing you a delightful blend of odd, strange, and mysterious happenings throughout history, all while gathered around in an exquisite tea party fashion. Our teacups are always filled with various adult poisons and spirits, giving us all the liquid courage we need to get through these genuinely bone-chilling stories. We're looking forward to invading that personal headspace of yours and bringing you some truly creepy and disturbing hister tea. I'm your host, Janet. To the side of me, dressed in her creepiest, elegant tea party best, is my sister, Trass.
Hey!
And directly across from me, sipping on a very mysterious poison indeed, is my oldest daughter, Kaylee.
Oh, hey, guys.
This has been a very long time coming, but we are finally coming at you from a doily-covered dining room table somewhere in Middle America. Gather around, pull up a comfy chair, grab your granny's teacup, pour your favorite poison, because this is going to be positively terrifying.
Oh, no, I get scared.
It's okay, don't be scared. Don't be scared. But before we really get into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, we wanted to take just a minute to squeeze in something that means a lot to all of us, and that is puppies!
I love puppies.
But more specifically, puppy and dog adoption. Traz, you and your hubby, Johnny, along with a bunch of other real-life heroes in the area, are actually rescuing and fostering dogs right now for an incredible rescue called Oh My Dog Rescue out of Des Moines, Madrid, Iowa.
Absolutely.
Will you tell us a little bit about what you guys do as fosters?
So basically we take these dogs into our houses and we treat them like they're our own until we can find a suitable placement for them, and then off they go. We do vet visits, we do spays and neuters and, anything that the dog might need. Sometimes we get dogs from all sorts of different walks of life and they need some very special...
And I've seen them. I even named one.
She did name one. Oh, Bonbon.
Oh, Bonnie.
Shout out to Bonnie.
Oh, it's awesome what you guys do. And if any of you out there are interested in fostering or adopting and welcoming a new dog into your family, you can check out available adoptable pets at ohmydogrescue.org or visit the rescue on Facebook, Instagram, and they even have a TikTok.
Which
so
makes
check that
me
out.
giggle.
It does make me giggle as well. They also have a podcast, which I've been listening to. It's great. It's like a really in-depth dive on what it's like to run a rescue and some of the horrible things that they've seen when it comes to people's treatment of dogs. And also some really heartwarming survivor stories, too.
Yeah.
But it's all pretty interesting stuff I never even thought about before. So anyone who loves dogs should definitely give it a listen. You can listen to Oh My Dog Rescue, the podcast. That's PAWD, so cute, podcast from their website. And I also found it on Spotify.
That's where I listen to it at.
Me too. I'm giggling along with them. It's really fun to listen to it.
They're hilarious. And it's funny because, I have a insider, back end knowledge of the things that they're talking about on these podcasts.
Right. So you get to behind the scenes.
So it just makes me giggle. And they shout out, at least one of my dogs in, every single episode, I feel like, so far.
Yeah, so far. You're famous.
I am famous. I was on the news, you guys.
You were on the news. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So we had good old Nader.
Yeah, a good old Nader came through.
They called it an EF0.
Did they really? Yep, exactly zero.
Yeah, it was an EF0. The winds were 85 miles an hour. And so it came right up to the north of our town, and it swooped on through at fucking 4 a.m. or some shit.
We were down here in the basement. Kaylee,
upstairs in our second apartment level in the bathroom.
The first person that actually got a hold of me was my father, which I thought was funny because Dad is always like,
it's fine.
I'm just going to sleep through it if you don't mind.
Yeah, but he was like, are you guys good? And I was like, well, if Dad's texting me, I better get up.
Yep. This is real important.
So we come up out of the basement. We're doing our thing. Because mind you, okay, so I have 3 children, a husband, 4 dogs. You count the dogs. I lost track. 8?
That's a lot, yeah.
So we left the cat, the guinea pig, and the bearded dragon, and we said, fend for yourselves.
They'll be fine.
We're going to the basement.
They'll be fine.
So I had my husband, my 3 children, and my 4 dogs in the basement, and everybody's freaking out. And so we come up, finally, dogs need to go out, go pee. So we let them out, and my husband turns and looks at me, and he says, well, that tree got knocked down. And he was so chill about it, right? He just looked at me and was like, oh, well, the tree's gone. And I said, no, it's not gone. And he goes, yeah, it is. And I was like, you better be fucking with me right now because that's literally the only tree I have in my yard, okay? I put my bird stuff on it. Like, I'm an old lady at heart, okay? I popped my head out there and I was so angry. So I'm snapping pictures. I'm all pissed off. I'm texting my sister and my mom and my niece, and I'm just texting everybody being all mad.
She was burning it up
She was pissed.
On the Snapchat.
Yeah.
I was pissed. So I was like, whatever, I'm going to send it into the local news. So I did, and everything's passed. We got the news playing on TV. Kids are getting ready for school. Da-da-da-da-da. Me and my husband are sitting there, and all of a sudden, they say, my name, Tracy, from, my town. And all of a sudden, there's my picture of my tree.
And I'm so pissed because I was getting ready for work at that time. And then you sent it, like, the picture from the news.
Yeah.
Where it says, like, Tracy O underneath.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing. So they posted it on their Facebook page as well. And they write my name as Tracy O. Tracio. Whose name is Tracy? I did not write that in the description. Like, they didn't call me Tracy O over the air, but they wrote it on the thing.
Well, I'm glad they didn't call you that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
But so my children are now convinced that I am famous because I told them so.
Because you've been on the news.
Exactly.
Yep.
Obviously.
So that's my how I got famous story.
I should say, before we get into everything, that today's podcast has some really graphic
Content.
Yeah,
content and situations that might make some people, sensitive listeners, upset.
So if you like have any triggers as far as like grotesque things are concerned, you should probably tune into us next time because I promise you I'm going to deliver next time.
There you go.
So,
see, I just went with the gore.
Yeah.
Is what I went with.
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh,
But
this is the most messed up thing I've ever
Give a little
heard.
disclaimer. If you're sensitive to that sort of thing, tune in next time.
And turn it off.
Turn it off right now.
Don't tell your friends. But if you are like, wow, that's fucked up, I need to hear more, you're our people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Are you guys ready for one of the most crazy roller coaster rides you've ever been on?
No. But let's do it.
Yeah. We all love the world of the unsolved and the unexplained, like the mystery, the suspense. It creates a sort of wonder and opportunity to lose yourself in the backstory of these events. And I've been next level obsessed, I would say, with anything and everything uncomfy and macabre since I was a kid. So I really thought I'd heard it all until I fucking heard this.
Well, now I'm even doubly scared.
It's gonna blow your mind. It blew mine. I was like,
right.
How do I not know about this?
Let's do this.
So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. This is about to blow your minds. I'm about to tell you about a little town nestled in the heart of America. A town with a history so disturbing, it'll leave you mystified. This is the story of Skidmore, Missouri. And I'll give you a little introduction to this little town. And we're also going to cover sort of the county that it's in, too. Okay. Some of these stories branch out into the county itself. Mm-hmm. So by the end of this, tell me if you don't think something fucked up is going on.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Down there.
You definitely wouldn't be writing about it if it wasn't fucked up.
No, this is totally fucked
also,
up.
there will be swearing.
Also, there is swearing.
There is swearing.
Explicit language
My bad.
warning. So
Content.
Explicit content.
Oh, man.
Is what I was going
this
for.
This podcast is explicit in every single way.
Let's take a drink of our teacups.
Oh, yes. Cheers,
Cheers.
bitches.
Wonderful. Yep. Located 102 miles north of Kansas City, Missouri, Skidmore is a sleepy farming town situated in the upper northwest corner of the state in Nottoway County. At its height, Skidmore had a population of over 400 residents in the early 90s, but has since experienced a great decline. And the town currently sits at 245 residents, according to the 2020 census. Skidmore as a town is quite old, established in 1880 by Martin E. Skidmore. He donated 20 acres of land to the Nottoway County Railroad Company. The Skidmore train depot was built, and people began to settle and build their homes in the town. Martin E. Skidmore, along with other partners, opened G.J. Reese Lumber, Grain and Coal, and the small town began to thrive. It was a classic Midwest town where everyone knew everyone else and neighbor helped neighbor. The community was close-knit and looked out for one another. They attended church and school together, farmed together, raised their families together. Skidmore, on the outside, seemed to be the complete idea of the American dream. But as we know, things aren't always as they seem. Life in the early 1900s Midwest had a rough edge of violence, and it would forever stain the history of Skidmore.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
So we're going to start way back in 1930.
Okay.
And this happens just outside of Skidmore in a little town called Maryville. It's 14 miles east of Skidmore, and it's still in Nottoway County. So on December 16, 1930, a young school teacher named Velma Coulter was found naked, brutally beaten, and mutilated inside a local schoolhouse. Imagine that in the 1930s. Everything's a lot more close-knit.
Well, I'm just thinking even that happening in the small town that's very, very close to us would be...
It would be shocking.
It would be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And then, so for this to be in the 1930s,
it would definitely rock the area,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yep.
So the Nottoway County Sheriff arrested 26-year-old African-American Raymond Gunn for the crime. Gunn was recently convicted of an assault against a white college student, and he was a known wife beater, so it made sense, I think, to them that he was the culprit. There was also a witness who reported seeing Gunn and 2 other suspects near the schoolhouse that day. Gunn was brought in for questioning, and he quickly confessed to the murder.
Okay.
Wait, but listen, he's
You
a
know, people
black guy.
And people
In the
confess all the time, and
1930s.
he's not trying to die today. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Probably be safer in jail at this point.
yet.
Nottoway County at this time in history was known to be thriving with active racism. On January 12th, 1931, a lynch mob of anywhere, there's no good sources on this. It's like you read one and it says 200, you read one and it says 2,000. So I just thought I'd cover my bases and say lynch mob of anywhere from 200 to 2,000 men, women, and children.
That's fucked up.
Fucking children.
It's fucked
Oh
up.
my
Forcibly seized custody of Raymond Gunn from the Nottoway County Sheriff outside the Maryville courthouse when they were taking him to court that day. They paraded him through the countryside 4 miles to the schoolhouse, like the original scene of the crime where the teacher was found murdered. This is, again, graphic. They would chain Gunn to the rooftop of the schoolhouse, douse it in gasoline, and set it on fire, and watch as the structure and Raymond Gunn was burned alive.
That's fucked up.
In the final moments of his life, Raymond Gunn was said to confess that one of the other men with him that day had been responsible for the death of the school teacher. Whether that's true or not,
People say a lot of things when they're, in pain.
could you blame him?
No.
I mean,
no.
Even if he did do it, how does it make it better to kill him like this?
It doesn't.
Afterwards, the people in the area would rummage through the ashes and the souvenirs of the crime against Raymond Gunn, and some were rumored to even walk away with human teeth.
Fucking weird-ass rednecks.
Yep.
For fucking real.
This is America.
So this is kind of setting the, climate, if you will.
Tone of the town.
Yeah,
Yep.
like of the area.
The county.
So years passed by, uneventful. The town of Skidmore remained, a sleepy hideaway nestled and forgotten, a place where you watched the wind blow and the corn grow. But the peacefulness would once again be shattered by an unimaginable stirring of violence. In 1981, Skidmore was in the beginning of its heyday. The town was thriving. There was a grocery store, a tavern, and even a local post office would pop up. Though it seemed like any other welcoming small-town community on the outside, there were reports that the townsfolk of Skidmore were less than accepting of outsiders.
Obviously.
Ken Rex McElroy was born in 1934. He was the 15th of 16 kids born to...
Getting
For real.
I knew y'all was going to say
Fuck
something.
that.
I got 3, and I'm like, this is a lot.
I birthed 2, but I have 3, and no thank you.
So he was the 15th of 16 children born to a poor farming family. They moved between Kansas and the Ozarks before finally setting outside of Skidmore, Missouri. McElroy dropped out of school at the age of 15. He quickly developed a reputation for being a delinquent around town. And by the time McElroy was 35, he had been charged with 21 different crimes, including thefts, burglaries, assault, and harassment.
By what age?
By 35.
Okay.
By 35, he was charged with 21 different crimes.
That's, wow.
McElroy avoided conviction on every single charge.
Damn.
Was he white?
He was white.
Yeah.
There we go.
I put a picture in here so y'all can see what he looks like somewhere at the end of the story. But he was a white guy, yeah.
Okay.
He avoided conviction on every single charge due to his relentless intimidation of witnesses and his use of legal loopholes. The people of Skidmore grew to fear McElroy and his unpredictable behavior.
Fuck that.
Nope. I wish he would. That's all I gotta say.
But this was the 1934?
This was
Okay,
81.
these people go and they
Yeah.
chain a man to the damn school, but they're afraid of this man? Okay. Looks like they got some crazy in them, too.
things weren't quite
They're
just not.
He also was a white guy.
He was.
He wasn't a black guy they could beat up on and gang up on, and there wasn't 200 to 2,000 people being like,
and things were different. I mean, even in the 1980s, things were very different than they are now. We, as mostly, I guess I can't say everybody, but we as a society now are collectively, we're different.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Very.
Even since we were kids, things are
it's
not
always
the
changing.
same. Even
Time
since
is
you
always
were a
changing.
kid.
Things that everybody just let slide before it are not acceptable these days, and everybody knows about it. Because I'm
talking to you, male lady that always tries to open my door to put my packages in my car.
That's fucking weird.
Weird.
Don't touch my shit.
Right?
I had a very aggressive conversation with the Amazon delivery driver today.
I love
He was pissed.
It's UPS that I love. Never mind. Fuck the Amazon guy.
Well, my Amazon guy was pretty dope. He was a cool guy. He was like, fuck them. And I was like, yeah
fuck
my
them.
them. Yep.
Anyway.
Ken McElroy was feeling untouchable, so his unlawful behavior escalated.
Of course it did.
And he began a relationship with a 12-year-old girl by the name of...
Fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, sorry. That was my bad.
I know. Kill him.
Ugh.
With a 12-year-old girl, he's 35.
What a fucking loser.
By
that
the name-
happens so much,
It
though.
does.
It still does. In other countries, they marry girls off when they're 12.
I know, but it just
And
pisses
younger.
me off.
And younger.
It's fucking
Just
disgusting.
fucking makes me
The
mad.
youngest person to have a baby was, I think,
She was like 5.
5. Yeah.
We'll do a story on her one day.
We will.
Oh.
It's fucked up.
But still, it just
Did
never...
you say you're fucked up?
It's fucked up.
I thought you said
I'm fucked up from all these stories.
But, it just never, every time I hear something
It's
like
just
that,
gross.
it's
It
disgusting.
just sends
Disgusting.
shivers through your fucking
It does,
body,
and
like
it just pisses me off.
disgusting shivers.
It fucking makes me mad. Anyways, sorry.
This 12-year-old girl's name is Trina McLeod. He would repeatedly rape her over the following years, and she became pregnant with his child at the age of 14. McElroy forced Trina to quit school. Now, you're probably wondering, where is her family? Where are her parents? So,
Where's your mom?
the McLeod family originally opposed the relationship, obviously.
I would hope so.
But McElroy bullied them into letting them marry their daughter by burning down the family farmhouse and shooting the family dog.
I would have shot that motherfucker right in the face. You think you're
Girl,
going to touch
bye.
my fucking 12-year-old?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. Get ready.
I would have
'cause
been
I'm about
like-
to fuck you up. And I'm going to send my husband your way. And he's crazy. He's fucking nuts.
He is. I'll second that. He is.
He's
I want John on my side.
He's fucking
Yep.
crazy.
Love
But guess
Johnny.
what? So am I.
You are. You
So you
definitely-
want me on your side.
So am I.
If I'm mad.
So am I.
If
This
not, I'm
family
like,
is
it's
just...
fine.
But this is something you would definitely...
Riot in the streets.
Yep. We ride at dawn.
We ride on.
So Ken would divorce his second wife, Alice, and he married Trina to keep her from being able to testify against him in court for the charges of statutory rape. Ken was also charged with arson and assault, but was never convicted.
Of course
Again.
not. What a loser. I hate this guy.
I do too. Trina went to live with McElroy and his second ex-wife and their children, so they all lived in the same
Wait
house.
a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Fucking weird.
how...
And by all reports, they got along famously. Like, they were
I'm sure
one
because
big happy family.
This fucking
She's
Alice is
probably-
everybody's mom.
yeah.
yeah.
For
And-
real. Yeah.
I mean, she's probably the only fucking mom that this Trina could even have. I mean, because obviously her real mom was like, see you never.
Yeah. Oh, he burnt my house, so, he can have you.
Yeah.
And all of the kids
that
are
just-
probably the same age as Trina, so
I know.
they're all besties.
Yeah, and she's
Fucked
got her
up.
own baby too by
Yeah.
him. So now they've just become this blended family, and
A cult.
apparently basically,
Yeah.
and they all got along great. There's reports of McElroy abusing the
Well,
women.
And
Of
obviously
course.
he to
Yeah.
some degree, so all they had was each other and their kids, probably.
But if you ask the children to this day, they report no violence in the home
That's
whatsoever.
because the wives were probably keeping it away from them.
Exactly,
Like,
because people did say the women would show up with black eyes and things
I
like
fell
that.
down the
Yeah, I
stairs.
fell down the
I
stairs.
ran into the door.
Yep.
John said that earlier in the middle Hy-Vee, and I about fucking punched him for real.
And it gets worse because on July 27th, 1976. Oh, wait. Remember earlier when I said 80? That was 81? That wasn't.
Right.
That was the 70s.
The 70s. Okay, but same. I
So-
mean, it's not
Sorry,
that
there's
big.
a lot of information to keep straight. So on July 27th, 1976, Skidmore farmer Romaine Henry was shot twice in the stomach by Ken McElroy.
Of course.
Henry was confronting McElroy for shooting off his gun just randomly on his own private property. Not McElroy's private property, Henry's property. Henry survived the shooting, though. Even
Go
though-
off, Henry.
Who gets shot with a shotgun
In the
twice in the stomach
50
and
Cent.
lives?
Go, Fitty.
9 times.
Go.
He's still standing.
With a shotgun?
Party.
No, it was probably like a pistol.
Shotguns, that shit's...
That's way
sprays
different.
out.
Yeah.
But he
it
did get
depends on the shot, like bird shot.
And how close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't have any of that information. I'm not that good. But anyway, he got shot twice and he lived. McElroy was charged with assault with intent to kill. Before the case made it to trial, Henry claimed that McElroy would park outside his home on more than 100 occasions as an attempt to intimidate Henry. Ultimately, McElroy was acquitted of the crime in
All
court.
right.
How?
So who's he?
It's all in who you know and who you fucking blow. And this guy had somebody on the fucking inside.
He did.
Because there ain't no fucking way
Definitely.
that this would not fly these days. He would be killed.
He would be totally killed.
Unless you have ties to the police department.
I
a
don't
lot
care.
of
I'd
shit will
still kill a
fly.
motherfucker if he's fucking around with a 12-year-old little girl and getting her fucking pregnant. I don't care.
As they should.
Years later, in 1980, 2 of McElroy's children were accused of stealing candy in the local grocery store by the clerk. The store was owned by 70-year-old Ernest Bo Bowenkamp and his wife Lois. Love Lois.
Lois.
McElroy confronted Ernest Bowenkamp at the backloading dock of the grocery store with a shotgun.
Of course he did. What a loser.
What kind of fucking drug is this guy on?
He's like, I'm untouchable.
Yeah, he
Fuck
thinks he's
you.
untouchable.
Fucking psycho.
I've known a couple of people like him in my
Yeah.
life.
He knows the fucking laws, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he is a good lawyer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He shot Bowenkamp in the neck with the shotgun. And miraculously, now, this dude's 70 years old, but he survived.
Good for him.
Good.
Yeah, and Ken Rex was charged with attempted murder for the shooting.
Thank God. About damn
Fucking
time.
loser. He's not going to go to fucking
Well, he's
jail.
charged, but...
Yeah, he's
That's not
charged.
gonna
He's not
happen.
convicted.
Yep.
Those are different.
In the months that followed, McElroy would park outside the Bowenkamp home and their grocery store. He would go so far as to stand in their front yard, and he even fired off his shotgun into the air in the middle of the night, right outside the home, right in their yard.
Fucking loser. What are the cops doing?
The cops are saying that they can't do anything.
Yes, you can.
I would think that there would be some,
Yes,
something
he's on
you
private
could do.
property.
But in the 80s, do we have that kind of law yet?
I'm sure that there
I mean,
was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess
didn't-
I don't know either.
But small town, they're like, oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really fed up with this dude already,
I already
and I don't
hate
even know him.
We're not even that far in yet.
Yeah, it gets
And
worse.
I want to kill him.
Yep.
So it seemed McElroy feared no consequences for any of his actions whatsoever. But the town was living in constant fear and torment, and they had had enough.
Good.
They
About damn
decided...
time.
Go off.
Yeah, for real. They decided if the law wasn't going to do anything about Ken Rex McElroy, they would have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Can I snap?
McElroy was convicted at trial on the morning of July 10th, 1981, but he was released
What the?
on bail
I will
Wow.
refrain from screaming into my microphone as I want to.
pending his appeal. Can you
What a
fucking
fucking-
believe that? Imagine what the Bowenkamps are. They're terrified, and they have
Yeah.
kids, too. They have children at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I can't even imagine what
No,
we
'cause
would feel like.
I'm all goosebumpy.
I
Because
know.
I'm pissed.
It's real,
For
man.
real. I'm
It's
real
real,
mad.
man.
I'm real pissed off.
At the exact same moment that he was released on bail, there was a town meeting taking place at the Legion Hall in the town of Skidmore. The meeting was attended by 100 or more Skidmore residents, including the local sheriff, Danny Estes. It's said that there was a heated and emotional discussion about what should be done about Ken Rex McElroy.
Obviously.
And it's rumored that money may have been exchanged or that the sheriff may have even had something to do with what would transpire next, although no one knows for certain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what's happening next, but I would assume it was all hush-hush.
Yeah,
All right, let's get it. Let's
Absolutely.
get it. Let's get it. I want to know.
this is when it's going to get good.
I need to know.
After he was released on bail that morning, Ken made his way to the local D&G tavern with his wife, Trina. It's rumored that Ken was aware of the meeting that was supposed to take place and that he wanted to be front and center for the whole town to see once he was released and that he once again invaded incarceration.
Karma's
Fucking
gonna get you.
Smug little son
Yeah,
of a bitch.
mhm.
I
Fucking
would
prick.
fucking... Ooh.
When Ken and Trina pulled up outside the D&G, people were leaving the Legion Hall meeting. The town folk filed in behind Ken and Trina as they entered the establishment. The mood was uncomfortable, and Ken and Trina felt something was amiss. Realizing they were heavily outnumbered, they decided to leave the tavern. They went outside and hopped inside their pickup truck that was parked in front of the D&G, facing the building. Skidmore residents began to leave and follow close behind McElroy, surrounding his vehicle on all sides and behind. Trina would report that the people were snickering and smiling at them as they walked from the D&G Tavern building. Surrounded by anywhere from 12, this is another thing I've looked...
You just can't know for sure.
Yeah.
No, you can't. And there's so many reports, but this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to give you all the numbers. Surrounded by anywhere from 12 to 100 people, multiple shooters would open fire on the truck, striking and killing Ken Rex McElroy instantly.
Good
Fuck
job.
that motherfucker.
Bye.
Bye.
Trina was not hit, and she sat screaming.
Thankfully.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sat screaming in the passenger side of the truck next to her murdered husband. She was helped from the truck, and then Ken was left, shot to death in broad daylight, blood pooling on the ground outside the driver's side of the truck on Main Street in the town of Skidmore. The people dispersed, and no one called the police for help that day.
I know you can't see me, but I have the biggest smile
Yep.
on my face right now.
All of us do.
Fuck this guy.
Karma is a bitch.
Sucks.
For
And
real.
so are you, Ken Rex
I'm
McElroy.
gonna die right there. Maybe sit there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So no one called for help, and none of the surrounding businesses even called for help. And guess what? No one saw a thing.
No.
Period.
What do you mean?
So psycho,
What
man.
do you mean?
I mean, it sucks that Trina had to be there for that.
no,
'cause
I mean, she needed out of that shit, though.
She did.
She did. It's just, I'm glad nobody shot her.
Yeah. She was upset
Obviously.
after,
Yeah.
and she did fight for justice for him.
I'm sure she
She-
did. She was
But she was brainwashed.
She was.
Yeah.
And she was groomed from the age of 12.
Right. Like, how do you don't get past that. You
Nope.
just start trying
That's
to...
all she knows.
Yeah. So Nottoway County Sheriff's Department would question hundreds of people in the town of Skidmore about the murder of Ken Rex McElroy, but all they came away with were rumors and gossip.
Of course. Oh, I heard.
Oh, this guy just looks like a fucking asshole.
Yep. He looks exactly like I imagined he
Yep.
would look.
Exactly.
No one would give up the names of any suspects or confess to any involvement in the crime.
Oh my god, I fucking hate this guy so much.
Fuck
I'm so glad he fucking died. What a fat fucking piece of shit. I hate him.
For real.
I fucking hate him.
Those fucking sideburns, though.
That was uncalled for. I mean, I'm not a murderer,
Me
but
either, but fuck him.
I can support some things sometimes.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, you fucking dick.
Okay, so the town had carried out and got away with vigilante justice,
Mm-hmm.
and no one came forward to give justice to Ken Rex McElroy, and the case remains unsolved to this day.
Darn.
Good.
And if you ask anyone in Skidmore, nobody knows who did it. They say, well, I heard a guy, or I knew a guy, or maybe I did know who did it, but I'm not saying. Like,
Nope.
even I've heard them say that in interviews that I watched,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is kind of,
Amazing.
it's kind of what you get coming. You
He
got it.
He fucked around and found out.
He really
Yes,
did.
he did.
Later than I would have liked, but he still fucked
Yes.
around and found out.
Like, this could have been avoided if that could have just happened like 20 years earlier.
Yeah, for real.
But anyway, the town band together and they keep quiet. So this is again a mob mentality kind of thing. We had the first thing, which was
Bullshit.
bullshit. I can see why they
Mhm.
did this and why
Yeah.
they band together and why they
Right.
got rid of this guy.
But they're very one of us. One
They
of
yes.
us.
are.
Yeah.
And
It's culty.
that kind of creates a,
Yeah.
like an atmosphere of weird,
Yeah.
kind of evil.
It's kind of not a town that I want to visit.
Yeah, I think, and I thought about going there. Like, me and Aunt D were gonna go there.
No, you were
No.
not.
And a lot of reports were like, "Do not go there. They don't welcome you." Like, oh,
Maybe if you just go in the town square and you go, one of us.
Yeah.
One of us. Maybe they'll invite you to their tea party.
like maybe they would.
Maybe-
They can come to mine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Speaking of tea,
I'd like to know.
Yeah,
I'd like to
wouldn't
know
we
more
all?
what they have to say.
listen.
Don't go down that road.
No, thank you. If you're gonna go down that road.
In the 20 years after the unresolved vigilante killing of McElroy, the town suffered as media and outsiders came to town looking for the chance to solve one of the most horrific cold cases in the country. The town, once band together against McElroy, now kind of band together against the attention of his murder, which is really ironic. But the residents began to leave Skidmore. The bank and the school closed, the grocery store went out of business. Older people started to pass away, leaving the truth of what really happened that day locked away in history. But evil was lurking in the shadows of Skidmore.
Really?
Really?
Again?
Again. So, in the year 2000, 25-year-old Wendy Gillenwater was found in her front yard of her home in the town of Skidmore. She had been brutally beaten to death by her husband, Greg Dragoo.
Fuck is up with these men, dude?
What a loser. I hate him
real.
already.
I hate him
Greg
already.
Dragoo.
I hate his stupid face. Anyway,
Whoops.
her body was so brutalized. I shouldn't even be laughing. This is fucking terrible.
It's like
Her-
Bailey Sarian says, I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
It's
Yep.
super uncomfy.
It's really uncomfy.
Her body was so brutalized, her mother only could identify her by the rings that she was wearing. Greg had been physically abusive toward Wendy for years prior to the incident. There were reports of methamphetamine use, shocker,
Shocker,
between the
Midwest.
couple. On the day of Wendy's death, Greg was using drugs heavily. No one knows exactly what caused him to snap, but he viciously beat and attacked Wendy with a flashlight, lacerating her face and breaking several ribs on both sides of her body. He dragged her to the front yard, and when Wendy was gasping to take her last breaths of air, he poured dish soap down her throat.
What a fucking
Wow.
Oh.
This happened in her front yard in
Right.
the town of
Nobody
Skidmore.
saw anything? Like, what
Do
the
we
fuck?
know what
The population?
yes, the population at the time was?
So at this time, we're in 2000. It's down in the 200s.
Okay, so it's back down in the 200s like
Yeah.
it was in the 1930s.
Right.
Okay.
So,
But
yeah.
still, in your front yard, in
I
the
mean-
middle of town, there's at least one person looking out her fucking window being
Yeah.
like,
Oh, shit. Something's going down over there.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
right.
Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? The coroner determined Wendy died of severe trauma to her head and stomach. The unsettling crime once again thrust Skidmore into the media spotlight, and Greg Dragoo
what a fucking ragu.
Ragu.
would get life in prison,
Good.
and Skidmore would earn yet another black mark on its already troubling reputation.
Can we just
Okay,
say
but at
that
least he went to
Wendy
jail.
was
Yeah,
beautiful?
at least
She's so beautiful.
Let me
She
see.
was a beautiful girl.
That's awful.
Beautiful.
Can you just
year? Oh,
imagine
2000.
somebody would do that to another human being? It's just
Yeah.
awful. The community was shaken by the Gillenwater murder, to say the least. I mean, obviously. It brought up old feelings. It brought them to the surface. The following year, in 2001, Skidmore was once again about to make the news when 20-year-old Branson Perry would vanish from just outside his home.
What the fuck?
This
dude.
is in Skidmore.
Okay.
Population 245.
Okay, small town. Listen, I just watched House of a Thousand Corpses last night.
Oh, good
this
one.
This is what it's giving, kind of.
Yeah.
Dr. Satan!
For
Dr.
real?
Satan!
Yep.
Run, rabbit, run!
Yeah, there's some fucked up shit going on.
Yep.
Tea break.
Mm-hmm.
Beer break. Whatever you want to call it.
Gotta love it.
On April 11th, 2001, Branson Caden Perry was at the home he shared with his father. He was cleaning with the help of his friend Gina and working on repairing a car, so he was able to pick up his father from the hospital after a recent illness. Perry went to return a pair of jumper cables to where they would normally hang in the back shed, and he was never seen again.
What the fuck?
What is he, 20-year-old kid?
And he's like in his own fucking area?
Like, what
just,
is going on?
Gonna go put some jumper cables back and he never fucking
He
comes
just
back?
walks out
Just
back with the
vanishes?
cables in his hands, yeah. And then
And is this in 2002?
Listen, this town?
2001.
There be some
2001.
witchy shit going on. I don't know
For
what the
real.
fuck.
Like, they're in a vortex of evil or
For
something.
real.
Like,
They're over the fucking, the lines. What are those called? The fucking,
I don't, like, it's like the Fringe, man.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of fucking...
there's some fucked up shit going on.
Perry's grandmother came looking for him and found a stereo blaring, but no sign of her grandson. Police were notified by Branson's mother, but they didn't seem to take the disappearance seriously, commenting that he was probably out sowing his oats. Quote, sowing his oats.
Jesus.
And would likely return shortly. Branson, I'll say it again, he was never seen again.
Wow.
There was speculation that Perry ran away. He did not take any items from the house that day, including his vehicle, wallet, or any personal possessions. The only thing unaccounted for were the jumper cables. Branson seemed to vanish into thin air. This is crazy. Okay.
Okay, but regardless of what the fuck you think may have happened or this person may have done, it should always 100% be taken seriously. If
No
I'm
shit.
worried enough about somebody to report them missing, you should do your fucking job.
Right.
They don't, though.
No, they don't.
Like,
and it's fucking
even
bullshit.
to
Because
this
I tell you
day-
right now, if my son ever comes up fucking missing, I'm gonna be a basket case. Well,
I'll tell you what, I've had to call before
Yeah,
for reasons.
because
And
of reason.
I felt like it wasn't really taken seriously
not.
either. And I was like,
regardless
this is
of
serious.
regardless of this person's history and their past and whatever, like, you know, oh well, they ran away, but that makes them almost more susceptible to fucked up shit happening.
Yes.
Yeah, the age. I
Yes.
mean, that age is like what? From like 15 to like 25.
25.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yep.
I mean, you're weird at that. I'm sorry. If
You
you
are.
were
You are.
weird
You're
at that
weird.
age,
You're weird.
You're weird. And if you're not weird at that age, I don't want to be your friend.
I don't want to be a friend.
I
We
don't
ain't
want to be a
friends.
friend.
And if you're still not weird at 39, I don't want to be a friend.
I don't
I
want
want
to be
to be
your
your
friend.
friend.
Oh my god. So
I'm not that old, but I don't want to be your friend. I'm just kidding.
I'm not going to divulge my age. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Divulge?
Yeah.
Weird. I don't think I've
Roll
ever
with
said
it.
that.
Just roll
Anyway,
with it.
moving on. Authorities began to suspect foul play when 2 weeks after Branson Perry's disappearance, the jumper cables that he reportedly left with mysteriously would reappear back in the shed where they belong.
Okay.
Okay.
So now...
Now we're going to take it fucking seriously because where'd these jumper cables come from? I hate these.
Right. The jumper cables would reappear back in there. So that to me screams somebody who knows
Where they're
where
supposed
the
to
cables go
Right.
Mhm.
knows where Branson is.
Somebody very familiar.
Someone very close to
Yes.
Yep.
either the house or the family or both.
And
or-
I'm sorry, who the fuck just like returns evidence to the crime scene?
They're
Well, because
fucking-
they didn't want them to be found
Yeah.
with them.
And they're
Oh
dumbass
my
fucking
God.
rednecks.
Yeah.
They're so dumb.
Sorry, I
Probably
keep
messing
saying
around.
rednecks, but yeah, they the
They
the
are.
real
Sorry,
the real
rednecks.
tea on it is that they were probably messing around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably doing
It was
drugs.
probably methany.
Who knows?
Mhm.
It was methany for sure. It began to look like someone in Skidmore may have been involved. Rumors swirled within the community, and these are the rumors that were said. A man abducted Branson and fed him to his hogs.
Okay, that's a
That's some
safe,
Deadwood
that's
shit.
a safe assumption. For
That's some
that.
Deadwood shit. I love that
Some
shit.
say that it may have been a drug-related incident, as we have. That's what we suspect. I'm assuming, based on our conversation
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
There was even talk some of the local teenagers may have had more information on what happened, but they weren't telling authorities,
They probably did.
which is
Well, I
probably likely in a small town.
Yeah.
Right.
I was born in a small town.
Hey,
The Perry family was diligent, though, in their search for their son. They posted billboards and flyers, hired investigators, and even called in a medium to help gain any
Aw.
leads whatsoever.
Oh, good for them.
yeah.
They cooperated fully with the investigation and kept in touch with the police. But despite all of their efforts, the case went cold.
Oh, they're not Trina's parents.
Nope.
That's for sure.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God,
I'm
that is
sorry.
so
I'm still
true.
mad about that.
Don't
I
apologize.
am mad about that as well. Fuck them. I'm glad they're not my parents.
Exactly.
Murder.
2 years later, though, there was a break in the case.
Oh.
Wow.
The FBI arrested lay minister, I love his name, Jack Wayne Rogers.
He has 3 first
He
names.
sounds like a fucking country singer.
Yeah.
He does.
John Wayne.
I'm sorry. Jack Wayne.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
They became suspicious of him when it was discovered that Rogers had admitted to kidnapping and murdering a blonde-haired boy from Skidmore in online chat rooms.
I was going to take a drink and then I stopped myself because I was like,
So
Yep.
this is where it's gonna get. This is
okay.
Fucked
this
up.
is as graphic as we're gonna get today.
Okay.
So everyone
Buckle up.
prepare.
Buckle up,
Prepare
bitches.
yourselves. Okay, Rogers said the boy was hitchhiking when he picked him up. He discussed extremely grim and gruesome details of the crime at length in various online chat rooms. He claimed that he tied the boy to a tree, sexually assaulted him, impaled him, mutilated his genitalia, and ate them in front of him while he was still alive.
What a fucking loser.
And then he left him there to die.
And
Wow.
do we know how old the boy was?
He was
20.
20. Because this is Branson that he's claiming
Oh, that
to
he's
talk
ta-
about.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I did not
Well,
dot
he
my
said
I's.
a blonde-haired boy from Skidmore.
I didn't cross my T's and dot my I's
That's
on
okay.
that. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's right.
Okay.
It's fucked up, man. It makes
It
you
is.
just go. It makes you go cross-eyed. You're
Ugh.
like, what the fuck?
And like the
I hate
fact that
people.
this happens so much, and those chat rooms are fucked up online.
They
Well, we
fucking
talked
are.
about this in one of our,
Yeah.
Shouldn't be they shouldn't be
No.
legal. You
No.
shouldn't be able to
But,
just do that.
you know, in one of our previous practice podcasts that we did, we had talked about how this is a thing. And they do. People go into these fucking chat rooms and they say all sorts of fucked up shit. Half of the people take them seriously and half of the people don't. Like,
But don't you feel like it just like feeds the fucking
It does.
the obsession with the fucked
yeah.
up shit?
And the
Honestly-
fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
What I
Yeah.
will say about that too is like, if you're gonna engage in conversation with these people and you're not like about that life, but you're still talking to them about it and you
Just
think
as
it's
bad.
funny,
That's
you're
what
fucked up too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking over here is because people think it's funny.
Yeah,
So they're
and they
like,
just, like,
I can
go
just say
along
whatever
with
I
it.
want because it's not real life. Okay,
Oh,
but for some people,
You're talking to a serial killer right now. So.
it is real life. So that's definitely something to think about.
Police seized Roger's computer and found child pornography as well as
Of
photos.
course.
What a fucking
Listen
loser.
to this. Photos of botched gender reassignment surgeries that he himself performed in various motels.
Who
Wow.
the fuck?
This lay minister by the name of Jack Wayne Rogers.
This is some American Horror type shit right
No,
here.
For
fucking-
real. Despite his confessions to the murder online, Rogers always denied that he had anything to do with Branson Perry's disappearance. Rogers claimed the stories that he had told were only made up and loosely based on Perry's disappearance and the things that he had read in the newspapers. But after police raided his home, they too would determine that Rogers likely was not guilty of the crime against Branson Perry.
They found... Okay,
They
continue.
didn't find anything.
He is the true Dr. Satan.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Rogers was, however, sentenced to 30 years
Good.
Wow.
in
at least he got
prison for
something.
possession of child pornography and body mutilation.
Fucking weird.
Police turned their attentions elsewhere and believed that they knew who was responsible for Perry's disappearance. They began attempting to question Skidmore residents, but no one was willing to talk.
Well, of course not, but at least this motherfucker got something out of it.
You know what
mean,
I just have to say, though? Like, what's his fucking name? John Wayne Rogers?
Yeah.
Jack
Jack
Rogers.
Wayne, sorry.
What? Who hurt you? For real. Like, who the fuck? There's got to be some, like, weird-ass fucking shit that happened or something to him when he was little, or I don't know. Not giving any excuses, but, like,
Listen, the
what the
majority
fuck?
of people like that, it's been proven they got hit on the head at some point in their childhood.
He got fucking
His
dropped.
mama dropped
Or-
him.
He probably, you know what? He
His
probably
mama.
got a flathead. He was never picked up. That's probably what happened.
She didn't get him no helmet.
Mm-mm.
Fix that shit.
I'm dead.
Fucking weird.
What a fucking loser. I hate them all.
I hate him.
Hate them all.
Then on July 8th, 2009, two individuals, being questioned separately in relation to a local methamphetamine drug ring, claimed that they knew where Branson Perry's remains could be found. Both individuals directed police to the very same field where they said the police could find his body. Police dug up the field, but recovered nothing. Although the police are confident that they know what happened to Branson Perry, they lack evidence to bring charges. Perry's body has never been found to this day, and his parents have both since passed away. And the fading billboards are still standing and asking for information.
So how do they know what
In the case
happened to
outside
him if
Skidmore.
his body's never been fucking found? And they're
Yeah.
like super like, we know, and it's not this guy. Like, how are they so sure? Are we going to get into that? Because I really like to fucking know.
I cut it off there, but I do know more information on that. So,
They seem
In
very
this
confident for
information that I did find and see, and interviews that I saw with the police chiefs and all that. They said, based on these two individuals that sent him to that field, they did bring dogs to the field to smell the
Okay.
field out. They did locate one location, 5 different dogs hit on the same spot.
Okay.
That's where they dug in the field. They didn't find remains, but the cops are pretty confident that a body was there and then
At
it was
some
removed.
point, yeah.
Also, question. Okay, so John Wayne Rogers, right?
Jack
These-
Wayne
Jack
Rogers.
Jack Wayne. Whatever the fuck. Okay, these two guys are new, different people, right?
These are different.
So, did they say the same field that he had said that he took him to? Was that the same?
They're 100% positive that it wasn't Jack Wayne Rogers.
Yeah. They're
No,
not
but I'm just
connected.
saying, was it the same field?
No.
Do you know or not?
As Jack Wayne?
yeah, as he
No.
said.
He's
Okay.
completely
He
out
said
of
like
the
a
picture at
different
this point.
place.
Yeah, he's
okay.
I can't even
Because
remember where
they
he's
know
from. 'cause
they
I
know a
should have
bunch
said
of things
but-
that they're not saying because at some point they hope to solve the case.
and
even
it
if
is
is
drug related, they believe. So
Methany. It was
Yeah.
Nothing
Methany.
around.
Methany did it.
This kid is just.
and this is the
sad.
picture of him. He's very handsome.
Sweet. He looks sweet.
Blonde
Very
hair,
nice.
blue eyes, just your typical all-American boy he looks like.
Yeah.
Just getting involved in some things that are
He
not
looks
great.
like a Midwestern
He really
little
does.
boy.
He
does.
looks polite.
He does. He looks like he says
He
ma'am
would call
and
me
opens the
ma'am.
door.
He would definitely call me
He
ma'am.
would call me ma'am as well. The despair doesn't end there for the town of Skidmore. Over the years, there's also been reports of various tragic and mysterious deaths. The suicide of a young boy, and a man found to have drowned while swimming under a nearby bridge. Around every corner in Skidmore, there seems to be a trail that leads to misery. In December 2004, a very pregnant 23-year-old Bobby Jo Stinnett and her husband were preparing to welcome their first child into the world.
I'm already mad.
I know.
Yep, me too.
I'm already fucking mad. Just tell me the story so I can be pissed.
You're going to be
I'm
mad.
not even going to look at it.
You're going to be uncomfy too, so everyone.
I
this
already
is
have
uncomfy.
tears in my eyes because I'm upset.
Yes.
Bobby and her husband ran a dog breeding. This is going to make it even worse for you.
Yeah.
Bobby and her husband ran a dog breeding business together from their home in Skidmore. Bobby Jo was active in the dog world in the world of dog shows and even frequented an online chat room called Ratter Chatter for rat terriers, where she met 36-year-old Lisa Marie Montgomery. Not only did the two women bond over their love for rat terriers, because Lisa Marie said she raised them too, but Montgomery had disclosed that she was also expecting a baby. So
She's a fucking liar. She's a fucking liar. I already know.
The women exchanged emails about their pregnancies and became online friends. But on December 16th, 2004, evil would once again rear its ugly head in Skidmore. That day, Bobby Jo Stinnett failed to show up to pick her mother up from work at the local gas station. Because it was highly unusual for Bobby not to show up without even a warning, her mother went looking for her. Bobby's mother went into her home in Skidmore and discovered her daughter's lifeless body laying on her back in a pool of blood. She had been strangled to death, and the baby that she was carrying had been cut from her womb.
Of course she was.
God. There was no sign of the infant. Police were called in, and they raced to find who could have committed the heinous act and locate Bobby's baby.
Why does this shit happen so much?
Psychotic bitches.
This is in Skidmore as well.
Of course it is, because it's a fucking,
you know what?
What's the fucking, the parallel fucking, what's
universe?
Parallel universe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The lines.
What's
the ley lines?
Horizon.
If they, if it's like a town that's like on the ley lines.
Oh, then it's all fucked up and evil
yeah.
there?
It's like fucking,
it's like they open the dimension, or what the fuck is
what's the, I keep saying, in my brain I'm saying Selena, but it's Sabrina. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
So they're like on that, well, they're obviously over the gates to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of the same thing. There's some fucked up shit going on in Skidmore.
No shit.
And I'm pissed off about it, and I'm over it.
I hate it.
I fucking hate this place. And also...
and when you say babies, you get mommies and babies involved.
Yeah. Then you start
It's
rallying.
And that's
up.
when I'm really fucking mad, okay?
Like, if...
I don't know you, but I love you, you know? Fuck
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Getting pregnant, because I'm about that age, don't be coming at me, bitch, because I'll fuck you up. But you know, like when I want to have kids, I'm fucking terrified of that shit. I'm not, but you know what? Here's the thing.
Just don't go making no new friends while you're pregnant.
Hell no.
And then you're safe, right?
I don't have friends, so I'll be good. But also,
damn,
if a motherfucker wants
she
to,
herself.
I'm going to be that psycho bitch. Like, and if
Haley, we already know that about you.
Yeah.
Somebody come at me, their
I'm not
DNA is going to be under my fingernails. I'm going to pull their hair out. I'm going to leave all the
I
evidence.
always tell you this most disturbing thing when they were
my mom
kids? I was
did.
like, if you get kidnapped, start ripping your hair out.
I remember that.
So I will find this motherfucker.
No,
Right.
I remember the exact.
Don't go down
it was
without a
the
fight.
case of the two girls who went missing.
Yep, right
And
here in
that's-
Iowa.
To us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was late coming home that night, and I didn't know that happened. And I came home, and my mom, my grandpa Kelvin, who does not yell, lost their shit on me. And I had a whole panic attack, and I go in the bathroom, and then my mom's like, you know, she comes in there to console me because I'm freaking out. And she's talking about, somebody come at you, you gouge them, you get all the DNA you can.
fight.
And so now I watch that, and I have been watching a lot of Lifetime movies because I'm old.
Okay, Auntie.
For real. But they're all about kidnappings and stuff based on real stories. And there's so many girls on there who don't know where they're at, but they go in the bathrooms, they make a lie to go be alone in a room, and they just leave fingerprints and hair, everything. And they're like 14 years old knowing that. That's sad that
That's
we have to know
forensic
that.
evidence. We
Yes.
need
That's
leave
sad that we
everything
have-
you can leave.
Yeah, and
Spit.
it's sad that we have to do
It's
that.
sad. It's just
and,
like,
you know, I've been over that with my kids, but we've also been over the school shooting shit where that's a different scenario.
Oh.
You hide and run
yeah,
from that
don't
shit.
be the hero.
You don't
I'm
fucking
sorry.
no. We're not doing any of the plucking the hair and whatever. We're getting the fuck
Yeah,
out.
you get the fuck out.
I don't care
Get
what
out.
you're. You jump out
fucked
that
up.
fucking window.
For my new job that I'm starting, I have to take a online class for what to do if there's an active shooter. That's fucked up.
Terrifying.
That we live in a world like that, for sure.
So the FBI were brought in on the case immediately, and after a quick investigating and you guys aren't going to believe this, an anonymous tip from a local Skidmore resident.
They said
Okay.
something.
I don't know if it was because there was a baby involved.
It's probably well.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking the FBI is only because there was an infant involved. Probably,
But Skidmore turned out for Bobby Jost in it.
good for them.
And
Thank
so
God.
an anonymous tip from a local Skidmore resident, and it was determined that the suspect likely fled in a red car. That's what the suspect saw. An attempt to issue an Amber Alert was made and initially denied because they had no description of the child.
That's,
Oh
it's
my
a fucking
fucking
fresh
God.
baby.
Newborn
She was at that
probably.
time. So
So
how do you not?
creamy.
You can tell
Fresh.
That, yeah.
Like probably still got blood on it.
Yeah.
But after a second attempt, authorities were given the green light to issue the
Well,
alert.
good
So
because
they
that's
did.
what it was
You
fucking
should.
intended for.
Exactly.
Yeah. The evidence on Bobby Joe's computer would show an email between Bobby and a woman by the name of Danielle Fisher arranging a meeting for that day, the day of the murder, regarding a sale of a puppy. Police tracked down the email address information for Danielle Fisher and were able to determine that she was, in fact, Lisa Montgomery.
You know what's
Why is
fucked
it always gotta
up?
be Fisher?
Exactly.
It does, too.
It does.
You're not wrong.
I have heard,
I have a friend named Erin. She gonna have to get her
girl,
shit together.
she's gonna have to get it together.
She's
cool.
Good.
No, but I've heard...
She's not like these fucking
No, hell no.
No.
She would have done that by now if she was.
Yeah.
But I've heard this almost exact story with a woman who was trying to sell something on Craigslist, I believe. And they came and fucking took her baby.
That's how it happens. And that's why, you
why you gotta
just
be a little careful.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Careful. Don't do that shit alone.
Right.
No. So Lisa Montgomery, I'll tell you a little bit about her to kind of get a background and maybe kind of an idea of maybe
Where
why
she's
this
at,
happened.
headspace.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Lisa Montgomery lived in Melbourne, Kansas at the time of the murder. Montgomery was born with permanent brain damage as a result of her mom's heavy alcohol use during pregnancy.
She said brain damage.
Yeah, you did. You
Dropped
said you
on the
dropped
head.
Dropped on the head or not picked up. Who fucking knows?
Lisa had an extremely difficult childhood. She was the victim of severe physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Shocker again.
Right.
At 14, when Lisa's mom, this is really fucked up. When Lisa's mom found out that she'd been repeatedly raped by her stepfather and his friends, she responded by threatening Lisa with a gun.
I hate people so much.
What
How
the
about-
fuck?
you know
How
what?
about don't have the kids?
Right.
Yeah.
If
You know what?
Let's
Just say it. Fucking pro-choice up in this bitch. Some people should not be having fucking kids.
For
Most
real.
people
And guess
shouldn't
what?
be having kids.
It's a fucking responsible decision, and some of y'all crazy motherfuckers need to be making it.
She got up on that soapbox
Mic
and she
drop.
She said,
I don't give a fuck.
You can't
I
see
don't
it,
give a
but
fuck. You want to...
She swung her
I
fucking
did.
shirt around like a helicopter.
That just done pissed me off.
Oh, God.
I'm going to take a little trip out there myself.
Montgomery would try to flee the abusive home by getting married multiple times. The first of those marriages at the age of 18, but they would only lead to further abuse. Montgomery did have 4 children, but she underwent a tubal ligation
thank God.
procedure in 1990. Lisa desperately did want another child and would falsely claim to be pregnant on several occasions after the procedure. And that's when she met Bobby Joe Stinnett.
Well, it's because she was mentally unfit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, it had nothing. Okay, go ahead.
And prosecutors think Lisa was planning to steal Bobby Joe's baby in an attempt to cover her own lies of pregnancy that her husband was planning to use against her in court to secure custody of their children
Which
together.
makes sense, but it doesn't make it okay.
No.
All right, and fuck this guy. All right, there's got to be something a little fucked up
Well,
with him.
she wasn't mentally fit.
Exactly.
From everything it
Well,
says here, she
but-
wasn't mentally
No. And
able
he's
to
trying
take
to
care.
get the kids because she's
Yes,
not mentally
because she's
fit.
not mentally
But
fit.
he didn't know that
to
4
handle
kids
them.
ago? Like, come on now.
He probably did, but boys are stupid.
On October 22nd, 2007, a jury rejected the defense of delusion and convicted Lisa Marie Montgomery of murder.
As
She
she
was
should
sentenced to death on April 4th,
damn.
2008.
Good for
They
them.
killed her
I
ass.
mean,
Yeah, and Lisa Montgomery was executed by lethal injection on January 13th, 2001, closing the book on yet another chapter of horror in the town of Skidmore.
so this is Bobby, and is this the baby with the daddy?
Yep, that's the dad.
She's beautiful.
She is. They're always so beautiful.
And then that raggedy old looking lady there.
I
that's
wasn't
Montgomery.
gonna comment on that bitch, but she
will.
looks
But
crusty
she
and
had
dusty.
a rough life too. I mean,
She
I'm not
did.
saying she did some fucked
Correct.
up things.
She had
She was
a fucked
failed.
up life. However,
It's
in
not
these
an
cases, it's
excuse.
really hard because you feel for the killer or the whatever, but at the same time, like it doesn't make what they did okay.
No.
And it doesn't get more fucked up than this. This is basically as fucked up as a crime.
Right, she
as
literally
you could
had to
ever
like
do.
cut this bitch open to
Yeah.
take her baby and then try to claim it as her own. Like nobody's gonna fucking know.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
I don't know.
But
It
she's-
takes a whole new level. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I get the mentality. It's just like I
At
don't
the
know.
very least, though, I feel like it's good that that information was released about her because
I don't
it can
necessarily
give the
right.
family some closure.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily agree with the being put to death for it because she wasn't mentally
She needed
capable
help.
of. Yeah,
She was failed by everyone.
So in the 20 years since the gruesome death of Bobby Joe Stinnett in 2004, Skidmore has once again fallen...
Oh, my
Jesus
fucking God. Dude, shut the town down. Burn it to the ground.
I was gonna say... They have fallen into sort of a quiet hibernation.
I'm getting a a little worried, all right?
I was too. I was like, shut it down. Burn it.
Shit.
We rise at dawn.
The town barely holds on to its existence in the sleepy county of Nottoway. Every year, on the anniversary of these disturbing events, the town is visited by people from the outside interested in getting to the bottom of what really happened there in Skidmore. And every year, the few residing residents shut out the world and refuse to answer or give any sort of clues as to what they think may have happened. As the years tick by, more and more people move away or pass away, leaving the murder of Ken Rex McElroy unresolved, the disappearance of Branson Perry a mystery, and the other unspeakable crimes and murders left to forever haunt the past of Skidmore.
The only one I don't give a fuck about is Ken McElroy.
Fuck Ken.
He doesn't need. We don't need to know.
Nope.
He's a piece
We don't
of
care.
Fuck that guy.
This town has been terrorized by tragedy just as much or more than any other place that I've ever heard of, making Skidmore anything but ordinary when it comes to small, tight-knit Midwestern communities. There's no doubt about it, Skidmore, Missouri, plagued by so many peculiar tragedies, will forever remain darkly mysterious in the eyes of anyone who's brave enough to take a deep dive into its strange and disturbing history.
I ain't going there.
It's probably on like one of those fucking Wikipedia sites. 10 most safest places to live in America. Number 1, Skidmore, Missouri.
Most definitely.
Known for its small population and quiet atmosphere. Hell no.
And I thought I wrote it in here, but I didn't. Bobby Jo Stinnett's daughter, she still resides.
Good.
They don't say where. They're really her family's
protect
really
her
protective of her.
privacy.
But she does live around the
Get
area
her the
of
fuck
Skidmore.
out of there.
Yeah.
She needs to leave.
Yeah.
She needs
Now.
to leave.
But the family's there. The roots are there. Bobby Jo was born and raised there.
I understand.
So I mean,
Bobby Jo was also murdered
It's hard
there.
to
I'm
leave
sure
that
if
shit.
Bobby Jo was here today, she'd say, get my daughter the fuck out of there.
Okay, ladies, that's Skidmore, Missouri.
I feel like I need like a cleanse after that. Like,
I'm very
damn.
upset.
Have you ever heard of such a fucking
No.
thing?
And
Ever?
I'm very upset. Like, okay, usually, listen, this is our first, like, real true podcast.
Yes.
But we've been practicing for a while now. And I have never left upset. This is the first time I am leaving upset.
See, I came
am
to
upset.
play. I
You
came
did.
to play today.
You did.
It's heavy, man.
I
Like, just
know.
sitting here, I just feel like, ugh.
I really hate fucking Ken
fucking
McElroy,
hate
fucking
Ken.
douchebag, piece of shit, motherfucker.
I fucking hate whatever the fucking John Rogers fucking dumbass.
Yeah, but at least he was
Jack
caught
Wayne Rogers,
and, like,
Kaylee.
Yeah.
Wayne
For
Rogers.
the 7,000th time.
Right.
I'm on my
but at
7
least,
teacup,
like,
mom.
he may have done some fucked up shit, but he was brought to justice. He was fucking, that he was founded. He was whatever. But
Yeah.
and they did eventually with
what's
this
fucked
Ken.
up?
But Ken should have been fucking. They should have done that shit forever. I'm proud of the town people.
Because
Yeah.
if they would have nipped that shit in the bud 20 fucking years
Yeah.
before,
Why
none
was
of
he
this would
allowed
have
to
happened.
fucking continue?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I fucking hate him. I hate him. I
Because
hate him.
amen to vigilante justice. Fuck everyone.
I'm here for it. I'm
Where-
here for it. I don't even care.
All right. First guy.
Haley's shuffling papers around.
I'm pissed. Okay, first of all, what I wanted to respond to with that is, so I can't remember the fucking names of all these people.
All right, you
Lisa.
just-
Lisa.
yeah, Lisa.
Okay, she gets a life sentence, or
She got death.
Lethal
all right,
injection.
pause. She got death. Where the fuck was that same type of energy for Ken, for John,
Listen,
Jack?
Ken was in the 1970s. Like
Jack
it was
wasn't. Jack was right around not that long ago.
But Jack was in the 2000s. But Jack was okay. So the whole Ken thing, like that happened a long time ago, and
obviously,
things
but
were.
Ken
I mean, I'm
didn't
not
get
trying to like.
He got convicted of one crime.
He didn't get convicted.
He did of that
Oh,
one,
did
but he
he?
got
Yeah.
bailed out.
I think
But he got
the
bailed out.
reason that Jack wasn't, like, you want him to be put to death, but he wasn't found guilty of murder. He was found guilty of child pornography, which
Yes.
is a
Let
fucking
me just
death,
say,
Yeah,
death
you got-
crime in my
you got
fucking book,
fucking
but it's not in the
mutilation.
eyes of the fucking...
not in the eyes of the law.
you got child pornography and mutilation. Put that motherfucker to death right now, and make sure it's on live television.
but
I
we
want
need
to
work
stream
on-
it.
We need to work on changing
So
laws.
who's fucking
in order to get-
demented now?
Girl,
order
me, I
to
don't give a
get-
hell.
Girl, both of us.
No, but like that's like what's
Trace.
so fucked up.
Trace of us.
It's like just looking at these stories go back really, really long ago, right? And we're looking at these things, and like throughout the podcast, we're like, that wouldn't fly today. It does, and worse
You're right.
crimes fly today.
Yep.
It does.
Fucking child pornography, people don't get shit for that. Some of them get probation, some of them don't get anything, and that happens all the time.
But let that shit happen around me.
Let that
because
shit
if I
happen
can
in
fucking-
Skidmore, Missouri,
If
motherfucker.
I can march at dawn,
That's what I'm gonna
I
say.
will be fucking marching at dawn.
I'm gonna be there. I will be there.
march it down.
We do.
Dude, I just can't.
We do.
Like, it's another level fucking with kids. I think
mean,
for sure.
animals and kids, you got some fucked up. You got some balls because they're gonna get chopped off by me.
I mean, I just can't. Nope. I will.
I'm heated. This was too much, Mom.
I told you this is the only podcast I've ever left. I'm mad.
I'm sad.
I'm fucking mad.
I'm mad.
I may have to pee.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. It's just like
I know. I knew it was gonna be heavy. I knew, but I had to come swinging.
We have to talk about it. And you know what? It's important you brought this up because Aunt Tracy and I didn't know anything about that, and we have people.
None of you have ever heard.
No.
Have ever heard this.
Now that we're done, I can tell you that I don't know.
It's good.
I didn't know anything about this.
It's good you brought awareness to it. So our listeners, if you are still listening to the end here,
hopefully, probably not.
But like,
my mom
important.
will. My mom will listen to this.
Mom. Thank you, Grandma. But no, it's important that we're bringing awareness to these kind of stories. That's like why, like, I think for all of our podcasts, we're all kind of doing things that aren't really heard of because we need to be bringing awareness
and the diversity
to
of it too. Yeah. I mean, we have all got our own little, spin, but this I had no fucking idea. I'm upset.
I poisoned you bitches.
You did.
Poisoned me.
You did a good
real
job.
Good.
And also, I just want to say,
fuck
first man, what was his name?
Raymond Gunn.
Oh. Raymond Gunn.
Yeah.
Just, that's sad. That's fucked up.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. And he admitted it, but you know what? At that time.
He admitted it to probably avoid death. And then death came to him
And then death just took him right from the police officers.
But mostly because of his race.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Because of
and
anything
he was
else.
like, I am a black man in the Midwest in the fucking, 1930s.
Yep.
Like, I have no fucking choice. I have no hope. If I say that I did it, the chances are pretty good that maybe I can, like, slide off with just being imprisoned for my whole life.
And that's what's fucked up with this racism shit, is the fact that a man during that time felt more comfortable admitting to a crime that we don't know if he committed or not because he'd be safe in a jail cell.
I feel about 95% confident saying that he probably
I don't think
had
he
nothing
did.
to do with it. And if he did have something to do with it, like maybe it was
still
like
fucked up.
It was by like word of mouth, like maybe he had heard or whatever.
And he still needed to serve his time, but that was not in the law. But it does not reside in the Skidmore.
It's another vigilante thing too. Yeah. To kidnap him, to chain him to the roof of a building.
Their children.
Yeah,
their children
kids did this too.
And they collected his teeth.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
They probably fucking. They were like,
and so who's the fucked up one here?
Exactly.
Right.
They were like, little Mary Ann, you're 5 years old, wear his teeth around your neck. Like, what the fuck, dude?
No, it's fucked up. Like, yeah, absolutely.
So excuse me if I say a child molester's ball should be cut off, because apparently
that may be edited out.
That's not really that bad. I think it should stay.
So if you have any information on any of the cold cases we discussed here today, please, they can't solve it if they don't have the information. Contact the
We're
Nottoway.
looking at you, Skidmore.
That's right. Contact the Nottoway County Sheriff's Office at 1-660-582-7451 and give them any information you have. It could solve a case. It could bring Branson home to his family.
And you know what? If you're scared, go anonymous. Stand up for something.
And on that note, we want to thank all of you for letting us creep you the fuck out here tonight.
Peaches.
At the Poison Tea Party. We had fun.
We did have fun. I'm feeling it now.
We hope you had fun. We always do. I know this material was really heavy and disturbing, but I hope that you found it as fascinating as I did, and maybe even opened your eyes and your mind to some of the secrets that you didn't even know could occur in a small, tight-lipped community
have
near
mercy.
you.
Always look at the small town.
If you like what you heard here tonight, don't forget to tell your friends and family about us and invite them to the tea party. You can also visit us at our website at thepoisonteaparty.com and send us a message there if there's something that you would like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget to find us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. And until next time, you keep it classy. You keep those pinkies up. You've been poisoned.
Rest in peace.